Okay, so let's have another review for pass by reference parameters or data items to a function. So let's write a program that can swap the values of two numbers. So let's say you pass x and y, and x has a value of 5 and y has a value of 3. And when the function is called with these two parameters, then after the call, the values of x and y should be 3 and 5 respectively. So let's write a function swap. Okay, so let's write this function swap. Let's say this function does not return anything. It swaps the value. So we have a, we have b, and inside the function we have a temporary number TMP, which is of integer type, and then we have swapping code here. Okay, so this function swap that we define, it takes two numbers and they are of type integers, int a, int b. And let's say a has a value of 5 and b has a value of 3. So a has a value of 5 and b has a value of 3. When swap function will be called, so let's see how a and b will be swapped inside the function. So here TMP in line number 7, it will get the value of a. And now in line number 8, a will get the value of b, which is 3. And in line number 9, b will get the value of 10, which has become 5, right? So now you see that a was 5. Now a has become 3. And b was 3. Now b has become 5, right? So this code perfectly swaps a and b, which are the parameters passed to swap function. Now here, let's write code here. Let's declare two variable, x, which has value 5, and y, which has value 3, right? So x and y, they are integers. X has a value of 5, y has a value of 3. And here, I will fill in this. Before calling swap, a, in this case, x, okay, so we are printing that. And then we are calling swap function with the value of x and y. And then we are displaying that what will be the value of x and y after calling swap. Okay, so here we have so if you look at this, so we have inside main function, we have x and y, which have values of 5 and 3 respectively. And here what we are displaying the value of x and y before calling swap. We are calling swap function and hoping that swap function will change the value of x and y, and then we are displaying, okay? So let's see what will happen when we run this program. So we should expect that before calling swap, x should be 5, y should be 3, and after calling swap, x should be 3 and y should be 5. So the output is here, but it's not what we have expected. So we thought that before calling swap, x equals 5 and y equals 3, that is coming. But what we were expecting after calling swap, that is not happening, right? So why that is not happening? So this is because of pass by value parameters. So here, if you look at int a and int b, they are passed by value parameters. And in pass by value parameters, when we call a function with pass by value parameters, so let's say we are passing x and y. So what we are doing, we are passing the values of x and y, not the actual reference of x and y. So here we pass a copy of x to A will have 5, and we pass a copy of y to B, and B will have a value of 3. And then we are making changes in their copies, actually. We are not making change to actual x and y, right? So because of that, so this function swap, it swaps the value of A and B, but they are copies of x and y, not the actual references of x and y. So after the caller is done, they are vanished. So what we are displaying here, the previous value of x and y, right? So how do we do that? So if we want to keep the changes outside the called function, so for example, here, once the swap function call is over, still we want to persist the value of changes that we made in A and B. So we have to pass them as pass by reference, right? So here, to pass them as pass by reference, we just put an ampersand. And now what we are doing, basically, we are passing A and B parameters as the reference of some variables in main, right? So here, now when we are calling swap function here with x and y, so then here A and B, they are passed by reference parameter. So we are passing the actual reference of x and y to A and B. So whatever changes we'll make in A and B, those changes will also be reflected in x and y, right? So now we can run this program to verify this. You see that? So this is verified now. Before calling swap, x was 5, y was 3. After calling swap, x became 3 and y became 5, right? So that shows the concept of pass by reference. So if we want to keep the changes persistent outside the callee or called function, so we can pass the parameters as pass by reference. Okay, great.